Cimoooooooo! What's going on, guys? It's Cimo, and today I wanted to bring to you a deck profile of my instant hat deck, a little project I've been working on these past couple of weeks, and that I actually took to the TCG Players States Tournament here in Nevada. The deck ended up going, I went X and 3 in Swiss, but overall I was actually really happy with how the deck performed, and I just want to show you guys what I've been working on, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. So obviously, like any hat deck, you're going to have your 3 copies of Traptrix Myrmilio. I mean, this is just the heart and soul of this deck. You can search out your trap holes, you get to pop cards when special summoned. It's just, there's so many good plays with this card, it's insane. And to couple with that synergy, we have 2 copies of Traptrix Dionea. I did not feel 1 was enough because this card is just too good. And then I also felt 3 was too many. You know, I'm not running Creed Bandit or anything like that, so I didn't think 3 was necessary, but I think 2 is the perfect number. And then, if we're talking about the H.A.T, we have the 3 Fire hand and the 3 Ice hand. Now, it's hat, you have to run the 3 hands, 3 of each hand. It's just so good just plowing through all your opponent's cards just for such a small amount of life points. I mean, just these cards are the greatest floaters in the game. I mean, they're just incredible. And then we have triple artifact Moral Attack. Moral Attack's really interesting because sometimes I feel like I want to take this card down to 2, but then sometimes it's just amazing when it's at 3 because you can just brick with multiple copies of this in your hand, but at the same time you can also sometimes go a game where you use all 3 of them out of your deck, and those games are incredible, and for those reasons that's why I chose to keep it at 3, and you know what, it was a good decision because Moral Attack was good to me at the tournament, so I was happy with it. To round out the monster lineup, we have 2 copies of Max C. I wanted these main decked mainly for the Infernity matchup because I feel that Infernity is one of this deck's biggest problems. Like, if Infernity goes off against this deck and you don't have Max C, you're like 99% of the time going to lose. And it's just to pretty much just stop my opponent from just going off like crazy. And Max C did its job. So that's it for the monsters. For the spells, triple Pot of Duality. I mean, it's obvious right now, this card is just incredible. You don't need your special summon, at least on your turn, since you're just going to be, like, sanctuming half the time anyway. But, you know, just finding more options is always good. So 3 Duality, no more, no less. Double Instant Fusion. This is where it gets interesting. So, when I took a look at Hat, I was like, I feel like this deck kind of is limited in what it can do in a turn. And so I thought, how can I extend upon those plays to make it more effective? And I thought Instant Fusion was a really good pick for that. Just for the small amount of life points that it's going to cost me, I can do so many crazy plays that it's totally worth it. And I'll get into some of those plays after the deck profile, just so I can show you. 1 Book of Moon. Book of Moon is just incredible. It is such a good card. I would never take it out. Dark Hole, the same thing. I would always main deck this card just because it just solves every problem. It's like you're in a bad spot. Oh, top deck Dark Hole. Okay, you know, you win. It's like it's Dark Hole. Mind Control. There's so many meta decks right now that are level 4 and well, if you count Hat, I mean it's mainly just level 4 based. Mind Control is so good for taking those cards, and you can just use them for your own plays, so it's really good. 1 Pot of Dichotomy. You're running so many different types of monsters, and just being able to get the +1 off of Dichotomy is so worth it. And, you know, if you couple it with a card like Soul Charge, it doesn't even matter if you can't attack in the turn, because you're getting so much advantage anyway. It's just ridiculous. As for Soul Charge, 1 of is perfect. I think 2 is too many. And there's Soul Charge. Soul Charge is so good because you can get back your Myrmilios, your Dioneas, you can make plays with those. You can get back your Moral Attacks, and you can exceed with them. It's just such a good card. So that's it for the spells. For the traps, we have triple Artifact Sanctum. This card is broken. Artifact Sanctum is the most disruptive spell in the game. It is just such a pain in the ass for some players because they're just going off doing their play, and you flip up a Sanctum and it just totally fucks up everything. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. Double D Prison. I was anticipating a lot of mirror matches, and so I figured, well, I might as well just run Double Dimensional Prism, because it can also get, it can solve a lot of problems like 101 and things that can't be destroyed by battle, because this just banishes them, so I thought Double D Prism was a good call. Double Wiretap. I want to make sure my plays go off, and so Wiretap is key for that. You know, it's good for bouncing back Solemn Warning, which I did once or twice, and that just really burns when that happens, because then it becomes a psychology game, because then they think, oh wow, I really don't want to get burned again. And yeah, Wiretap is incredible. For the one-ofs, one Bottomless, obviously to trap hole, you're going to search it. One Call of the Haunted. I feel 1 is the perfect number because it's just so good. You have so many good targets in the graveyard to bring back that 1 is all you need. 1 Compulse. Compulse is so good, and it can help you get out of so many situations where you can't normally get out of, and you can also use it on your own monsters if you're in trouble. 1 Solemn Warning. It's the ultimate answer to everything. 1 Torrential Tribute, just for Flood. Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare, and to couple that, we have Void Trap Hole. Now, I think Void Trap Hole is an amazing card because it doesn't have as many things that it can target, or not target, but that can destroy compared to Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare, but it can stop more problem cards than Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare. For example, it can stop 101. It can stop anything that's pretty much protected, because it negates that monster's effects and then destroys them. So it's really good for getting around big problem cards that the deck has, and I'm actually really happy with it. So that's it for the main deck. Let me quickly show the extra in the side deck, and then I'll get into some combos. So for the extra deck, the fusion monsters, we have 1 Carbonala Warrior, that's your level 4 instant fusion target, and you have 1 Guiltia, which that's your level 5 target. The level 4 target does not matter. Preferably, I wish this was a Camion Wizard or a Mabelus, just because it would be able to dodge Bottomless, but that's okay, I couldn't find one. The level 5 target does matter. There's only 2 possible choices. You either has to be Guiltia, or it has to be Musician King, and that's because it has to be a light attributed level 5. Because what you can do is you can take your Moral Attack, you can instant fusion in one of those 2 monsters, and then you can instantly go into Constellar Polites, and it's just such a good play when you can pull that off. So that's it for that. Then for the Xyz, 1 Dweller. I mean, this is just obvious at this point. Dweller is just amazing because it just answers the hands, it stops Mermail, it stops a lot of stuff. 1 Exciton. You know, the thing with Hat, you rarely go into Exciton because you're usually at advantage, but, you know, in case you ever need him, he's there. Cowboy, Cowboy's Cowboy. I burned a few people for game at the tournament. Lavalval Chain. Lavalval Chain is amazing in this deck, especially with the instant fusion. And I'll get into that right at the end. Black Ship of Corn, that's staple rank 4. Rhapsody and Berserk, you know, why not have a DD Crow in your extra deck? Heartland Drago. This is really funny because I almost didn't run this card because the extra deck space is really tight. And something told me the morning of the tournament, put this in my extra deck. And I actually won my first match because of Heartland Drago. So I was so happy I put that in. 101, I mean, 101 is just amazing. Ragna Zero really helped me out in my Madolche match. I still ended up losing the Madolche match, but it was helpful nonetheless. Steelstorm Roach, Light Sworn, things like that. For the rank 5s, we have Constellar Polites, who is just fucking god. Volcasaurus. I made Volcasaurus once. I almost had game when I made him, but my opponent Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmared him, which was a shame, but, you know, I probably wouldn't have won that game anyway, so I figured I might as well go for it. And the 1 Gaia Dragon, because why not have something to go into after you have 2 extremely powerful rank 5s? So, I didn't go into Gaia Dragon the whole tournament, but he was there in case I needed him. Quickly for the side deck, 1 DD Crow. I think DD Crow is just amazing because you can stop so many cards with it that I felt running 1 was really good. Double MST. I didn't main deck any MSTs as you guys saw, and I don't feel like you need to main it. The only thing that can kill you is if you're going up against like Mythic Rulers or Light Sworn that main deck Royal Decree, because that can really hurt if you can't get an Ice Hand or a Traptrix Myrmilio special summon from the grave. But it was never a problem not main decking MST. Double Nobleman of Crossout. The deck has problems with Geargia, and it's just good to get rid of the hands. It's just an easy answer. One Acid Trap Hole, you know, same logic. Double Black Horn of Heaven. I feel like siding these is the better choice, just because, you know, especially if you're going up against a mirror match, or even if you're going up against Lightsworn or something like that, rarely are these decks going to exceed that much. And so I feel, okay, if I'm going into a super heavy XC deck like Infernity or Sylvans, then I can run the Black Horns comfortably. Double Breakthrough Skill. I'm actually really sad I did not main deck at least one of these, because it would have come in handy so much. I almost always side decked in both of these, because Breakthrough Skill is such an amazing card right now. Effect Negation is so important that I would totally change that. Double Debunk, Mirror Match. This actually helped me beat Boojins, because I debunked the player's Crane when I attacked into his Yamato, and he had nothing he could do about it. Debunk is just such an amazing card. One Deep Dark Trap Hole. This was for Sylvans, Mythic Rulers, Lightsworn. Really, anything, I would just side out the Trap Trick Trap Hole Nightmare, just for something I could quickly answer their big monsters. And it came in handy. I was happy I ran it. And Double Mind Crush. Like I said before, I really feared the Infernity matchup. Luckily, I didn't play any, but I do not have fun with that matchup at all. And so I figured running Mind Crush was a really good choice to counteract that. I actually never sided this in at all, because I didn't need to, but it was there in case I needed it, and I would not have changed that. So yeah, that is it for the video. Let me quickly show off some of the cool things you could do with this deck. So what you can do is, you can take Traptrix Myrmilio, and then you can, after you get your search off with Myrmilio, you can instant fusion out Carbonala Warrior. So then you get him out. So you're already +1 from the Myrmilio, which is good. And this is all turn 1. So you play your Myrmilio, get your hand. You instant fusion out Carbonala Warrior, and then what you can do is you can XC the two monsters into, if I can find him, there he is, into Lavable Chain. And why this is good is because what you can do is, you can detach the Myrmilio and stack Dionea on top of your deck. And if you do all this turn 1, what this allows you to do is it basically starts a cycle of rank 4 XC plays on top of being able to pop your opponent's back row. Because on your next turn, you're going to draw the Dionea, you're going to play it, you're going to bring back Myrmilio, pop a back row, and then you can go into whatever rank 4 XC you want. And then you can stack again, because Lavable Chain still has another material on him. And assuming you can make something to detach that Myrmilio once again from underneath that second XC monster, then you can do the whole play again next turn and have 3 rank 4s on the board by turn 3. It's a really, really good thing. I mean, it's such an amazing way to just pick up this, start going off on your opponent, and instant fusion makes those plays possible. You can do it with, you can mind control an opponent's monster, and then you can instant fusion and XC with it. You can use your, where is it? The other play you can do is with Moral Attack. You can play your Moral Attack after, say, on your opponent's turn you Sanctumed to pop one of their cards. On your turn, you can instant fusion out Guiltia. And the benefit of doing that is you don't need to wait to have another level 5. You don't need to wait to get your second Moral Attack on the field to be able to go into Polites, because now you have a way on your turn to just immediately bring out Polites. Or Volcasaurus if you need it, but it's 99% of the time it's Polites. So it is just, it adds so much consistency to the deck that it's ridiculous. It is so cool. And I really liked it. Like I said, I went X3. My losses were against Madolche. Like I said, I missed the effect negation. Sylvans utterly destroyed me on stream, and go to Underworld 667's channel. I'll link it in the description too, but go ahead and thumbs up that video. I get utterly fucking railed by the Sylvan player, and I lost to a Hat Mirror match because I bricked hard. But that's it for the video, guys. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this deck, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.